Thank you for stopping by to check out our latest video. Please give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Okay, let's jump right in.
If you have not played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, think Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, set in the modern era, with vampires, lots of them. As a game based on a pen and paper RPG that is rich in lore, Bloodlines spares no expense in telling a compelling tale involving warring vampire factions, each with their ideas on how to live amongst humans. Despite the game's lack of polish, owing to the developer Troika's use of a nascent and incomplete source engine, reviewers across the board gave Bloodlines praise for its sharp dialogue and an immersive plot that is not afraid to stray into the R-rated territory. Unfortunately, when all was said and done, Bloodlines failed to drum up enough sales to warrant a sequel. Until now. Bloodlines opens with you, an underachieving, sad excuse for a human, getting jacked by a vampire, and then turning into one. Just like that, your fortune has changed. With the gift of superhuman dexterity and strength, you can now explore the dark underbelly of 21st century Seattle. But your path to vampiric glory is rife with creatures of the night that are far more ruthless and powerful than you. Thankfully, just like its predecessor, Bloodlines 2 promises a deep, highly customizable leveling up system that will allow you to build a Jean-Claude vampire character who has an unquenchable thirst for violence, or a sweet-talking pacifist, or something in between. I have to be honest, however, despite our excitement to get our hands on the game later this year, we have been concerned with the game's potential outcome. Fortunately, for the sake of not missing out on seeing their vision through, developer Hardsuit Labs and publisher Paradox Interactive have delayed the game, which is now slated for a 2021 launch. At the moment, Paradox Interactive have only released a one-scripted 30-minute demo to showcase the gameplay. Granted, the video demo is of a pre-alpha build of the game, but if Paradox Interactive thinks it is good enough for public consumption, then it is good enough to be publicly critiqued as well. You will spend most of the game in first-person perspective, but the camera pulls back in certain contextual situations, such as while pulling off an acrobatic move. In the first fight shown, our hero finds himself surrounded by thugs, who have no concept of ganging up on a single prey. Enemies move towards you and attack you with the reaction speed of a lethargic retiree. They do not employ any tactics. They reload weapons while they're in the open and vulnerable, and they do not change their responses based on the damage they have taken. Enemy animations are also as stilted as those of Skyrim, an 8-year-old game. Keep in mind that these impressions are strictly from the demo that was released about 11 months ago. On the plus side, your character has a full bag of tricks to use. These disciplines, or vampiric powers, allow you to summon bats, levitate objects, turn invisible, or transform into a mist and move through small spaces, among other superhuman abilities. Of course, you can also rely on good old-fashioned melee attacks and guns to deal with the dangerous underworld. One can only hope that the enemies you encounter in the final game will have some semblance of intelligence to provide a challenge. If you're not in the mood for bloodshed, Bloodlines 2 will offer opportunities to circumvent many combat situations, either through dialogue or sneaking. The same dark and dystopian ambiance from the first game is back. However, as you walk through the streets of Seattle, you do not get the sense that you are in a living and breathing world, perhaps because the environments are sparsely populated and the humans that you do see barely move. Once again, this could just be an issue in the demo. In a cool twist to gameplay, however, your vampire can detect the emotional states of humans around him. Feeding on a human in a specific state gives you an ability that is unique to that state. As the title suggests, vampires in the game try to preserve a masquerade to prevent humans from freaking out. So if you insist on publicly showing off your vampiric talents, expect the cops and other vampires to hunt you down. There will be a morality system that will also affect the way you interface with characters around you. Bloodlines 2's story will feature some characters from the first game, but will stand on its own. It is all about seizing power through your allegiances and betrayals with the game's 5 vampire clans. The original writer for Bloodlines, Brian Masoda, is unfortunately no longer working on the project, which leaves us scratching our head. Was most of his writing ideas completed before he was fired? Or is a new writer or writers necessary to change directions with the heavy lifting of the narrative? Hopefully, the character building qualities of the original game doesn't lose its charm in the sequel. As mentioned before, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been pushed back to 2021, yet still launching on PC, PS4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X. And there you have it.
Thank you so much for checking out our video. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and be sure to subscribe, and also hit that notification button to be updated on our latest videos.